Namaste, namaste, and welcome to this how-to video for Kapalbhati or Kapalabhati, as the case may be. The Sanskrit is pronounced differently by different people. I am not from the part of the world that Sanskrit originally came from, so please excuse my pronunciation if it doesn't match with your preferred one. Kapalabhati actually translates as shining skull breath, or skull shining breath if you prefer. And it is a breath that's particularly used to cleanse tension from the frontal lobe. And I find that's where we tend to hold on to our more challenging emotions like fear and anger and irritation and frustration. So it can be a really nice practice to do if you feel like you're holding on to that, or if you suffer from tension headaches that happen here at the front of the head. But in addition to that, it's great for promoting movement through the abdominal area. So you get this strong contraction across the tummy, which sort of is a bit like, I think it's a bit like skipping or jumping for the internal organs. So it gives them a little bit of, I don't know what the word is, but some vitality perhaps is the right word. And it promotes strength through our respiratory system. It encourages the diaphragm to be strong, which helps our breath. And we get this big actual exchange of air. So it's quite nice just to help us feel revitalized, but it's also warming, it's also calming. So we will practice together and see how we get on. So the important thing to remember with Kapalabhati is that the contraction that happens is what expels air from the lungs. And then as we release that contraction, we naturally breathe in. We don't need to think about breathing in at all. So perhaps it would be useful if I just demonstrate. I'm going to rest my hands onto my abdomen and I just take some breaths like this. So this is how it ends up being, and we're going to practice our way there. What we want to avoid, especially perhaps for ladies, is we don't want to press the tummy out as we exhale. So that's kind of something we try to avoid, try to coordinate what's called the strike, or this strong drawing in of the abdominal muscles as we exhale. And with practice, that strike is then performed more by the diaphragm than the actual abdominal muscles themselves. But we have to get there, so we have to learn it first. So hands onto the belly. And if you imagine it's your birthday and you've got a cake full of candles in front of you and you're going to blow them out with one short, sharp breath. We're going to practice through the mouth to begin with. Those candles won't blow out, so you keep blowing. We'll do about 5 of these breaths. Good. So if you can feel that there's a drawing in of your belly as you exhale, then you don't need to emphasize it any other way. But for some people, they need to focus on actual contraction to make the breath work. So for this one, for this next 5 or 6 breaths, instead of thinking about how you exhale, think only about creating a strong, sharp contraction in of the belly muscles. You'll see, or hear perhaps, that the air is just pressed out of the lungs automatically. And that's because when we contract our diaphragms, we create a much higher pressure in the lungs, which presses the air out. And when we relax our diaphragm, as we do on breathing in, create a bigger space in the lungs, we create lower pressure and the air from outside comes in. And we don't have to think about breathing most of the time. That's just what happens. So in Kapalbhati, we're emphasizing that contraction so that we can create a short, sharp exhalation. So again, this time we're going to imagine a candle full of cakes, or a cake full of candles, as the case may be, and do about 5 to 10 of these exhaled breaths, and see if halfway through you can close your mouth and make the exhales through your nose. It's okay if it doesn't naturally happen. As you relax this time, relaxing the arms if you've been holding onto your tummy. Giving yourself 2 really long, deep, full breaths. If you can, through your nose. It's always handy to have tissues around when you're practicing Kapalbhati because of the forceful exhalation through the nose. Sometimes we get a few bats loose in the cave and need to take care of them. So do feel free to blow your nose if you need to. Just notice how you're feeling. If you're unfamiliar with this practice and you don't normally do it, you might be feeling tired across the abdominal muscles. That's quite common when you first begin. So when you're learning something new, try not to practice to fatigue. Try to practice to a place where you feel good. You can always come back and revisit it. And practice is what improves our abilities. So here, coming back to this perhaps over the next few days a few times, if you can in your first week, aiming to do it every day or maybe 5 days out of 7, and you'll get really familiar with how to do this. For those of you who are advancing, then I will offer you 3 rounds. In the first round, we're going to do 30 breaths. No, let's start with 20. In the first round, we're going to do 20 breaths. In the second round, 25. And in the third round, 30. And we'll have 2 deep preparatory breaths between each round. But for the breath that you breathe in to do Kapalbhati, just a 3/4 breath in. And you'll notice that you're not breathing out on purpose. So you're not breathing in on purpose, sorry. Very different. There's another breath called Pastrika, which is very similar to that. So we want to avoid breathing in on purpose. We just want to allow that inhaled part of the breath to be quite passive. So remembering the strike draws the abdominal muscles inwards. If that isn't how it's working for you in this moment, then I want you to stop at this point and seek the advice of a teacher in person who will help you to just get the coordination of that strike together. There's probably another couple of videos about Kapalbhati on this channel that you can try if you think perhaps one of those would be helpful. But please don't practice for a prolonged period of time with the tummy poking out as you breathe out. So beginners, hands on tummy. For those who are more practiced, you might just rest your hands by your side or take chin mudra. We're going to take a deep breath in. And a slow, soft exhalation, relaxing the face and the shoulders. One more deep breath in. As you breathe in, let the breath lift you tall. And then exhaling slowly. A 3/4 breath in to start. And hum, to, 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 hum. Exhale slowly. Big deep breath in. Long, slow, softening breath out. One more deep breath in. Let the breath grow you tall. A long, soft exhalation. Taking a 3/4 breath in for our next round. And hum, two, 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 hum, 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 hum. Exhale. Long, deep breath in. Soft, gentle breath out. Relax your jaw and your face and your shoulders. Long, deep breath in. Let the breath lift you tall. Exhaling fully. Take a 3/4 breath in for our final round. And hum, 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 hum. Exhale. Take a long, deep breath in. If your hands have been on your belly, just rest them onto your knees or your thighs. Exhale a long, slow breath out. Take another long, deep breath in. And this time, as you exhale, just allow your body to soften where it is. Allow your breath to find its natural rhythm and fall into quietness. And observe the effect of your practice. If you find that you're comfortable and still, you can remain here, enjoying that stillness. For a meditative moment. When you're ready, you can bring your palms together at the center of your chest. Lift your chest, but take your chin gently towards your chest. Smile softly to yourself. And when you're ready, raising your head, releasing your hands, and opening your eyes. I hope you enjoyed this practice. Kapalbhati is a lovely thing to do. Warming for the body, but also very grounding, helps us. The autumn is the time for elimination, letting go of things. So Kapalabhati allows us to let go of a lot of mental tension, but it also allows us just to fall into that autumnal energy of creating this sort of forced expulsion. I hope that kind of makes sense. If you've got any questions, please let me know. There's a little bit more information in the description, and I'll see you again soon. Namaste.